Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Joey Galvez. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Bixby Grant. We're going to bring in the creators. We got Patrick Coyle and Gonzalo Martinez in the house. How's it going, guys?
Good. How you doing, Joey?
I'm doing wonderful. Listen, we are sitting here right now. You guys are funded. It funded under 12 hours, right? Is that correct?
It's insane. Yeah, we launched at 8 a.m. Eastern time this morning, and almost to the minute at 8 p.m. this afternoon, it was 100% funded. And it's still pulling in new folks. So I couldn't be more excited. This is Gonzalo's and I first collaboration, and I think it's coming together pretty awesome. And it seems like people want to read it.
Yeah. So before we move on and get into this a little bit deeper, I want to introduce you guys. We got Gonzalo here, and he's actually not even around here, right? You're from Chile. You're coming to us from Chile right now, aren't you?
Yep.
So how's it going?
From the end of the world.
From the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And you're the artist on the book. Tell us a little bit about your artwork and how your status in the business.
Well, I'm a full day comic book artist, mainly in this side of the hemisphere, in the southern hemisphere, Latin America and New Zealand. Since kind of 20 years, I have a kind of 20 years career. And I was contacted by the talent agency Artist Go to work with Patrick, and I work with them on a regular basis, and I do my work with professionalism and heart. But when I read Patrick's script, the first script, the 7-page script, I really love what I was saying. So I'm kind of in love with this project, and I hope it looks through the pages. Well, how I like this.
I think so. I think it definitely, because I was able to get a little bit of a background, backstage pass and look at some of the pages. And when I first, when Patrick shared these pages with me, I said, "Oh my gosh, this is awesome!" Like, I didn't know that I was gonna love something that about a mummy detective. You know what I mean? And so I was like, I'm down for this all day. Patrick, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then Bixby Grant, man. This is your baby. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely. More than happy to. So this, all right, a little bit of background about me. So I have been kind of in and out of comics as an independent publisher and creator for 22 years, maybe a little bit more. In the year 2000, my buddy Shannon Eric Denton and I started an online comic book publishing company called Comic Works. That's Comic Works with a K. Some of the older viewers might remember it. We made a little bit of a splash. We did online comics for like 4 or 5 years. And that time we also did a series of anthologies. And because Shannon, my partner, he was working in comics. He used to work for Rob Liefeld back in the 90s. And then he was a storyboard artist and an animator. So he knew tons of people. He was really good at networking. And he had a lot of professionals who were also in animation, in comics, in film, in video games. And they all wanted to do their own comics, but nobody wanted to take the time to actually publish them. So we said, okay, well, if you give us, $5 per page, we'll put out like a really thick digest size, black and white anthology. And so we got to work with Ernie Colon. We worked with Dwayne McDuffie. We worked with Eric Canetti. We worked with Keith Giffen right before he won an Eisner. And there are hundreds of other people that I'm going to forget. But a lot of prominent people will be watching a show, an animated show sometimes, and a name will come on, and I'll say, "Oh, I know that guy. Oh, I know that guy too. Oh, I know that. I know her." And it's just kind of cool. So anyways, we did that for about 8 or 9 years. We had a lot of fun, but then kind of life took over. So I originally started that company to publish my own comic, and Bixby Grant was what I wanted to do. I had several other ideas. I still have several other ideas, but that's always, like you said, been my baby. So I eventually, my wife and I got married. We had kids. My wife went to medical school. We just didn't have time for me to do comics on the side because I had a day job. So it went on the back burner. I did a very short 10-page Bixby Grant story that a great artist named Armin Villevert did for me in one of our anthologies. But then that was kind of it. And since then, I've written a few scripts, hoped to get it going. I honestly hoped that I was going to draw it. I went to school for illustration many, many years ago, but my skills have gotten really rusty. So I kept putting it off, saying, well, I just got to get good at drawing again, and then I'll do Bixby Grant. And it never really happened. So I had to really come to the conclusion that it wasn't going to happen, and that I needed to work with someone who is a professional and is really talented. And that's how, through Geraldo, actually my former partner Shannon knew Geraldo Borges, who is the penciler of Nightwing for DC Comics right now. And it's his agency that represents Gonzalo. So that's kind of cool. how I got connected with Gonzalo. Now, I had never heard of his work before because he works mostly overseas. Gonzalo, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you've been published in the States before, have you?
Yeah, I have very few, 3 titles in the United States.
Okay.
Early 2000s.
Okay.
I did a mini series for Avatar Press back in the days, written by Rich Johnston, and I did 2 very lovely books with my friend Kirk Cushing from Rancho Cucamonga in California.
Okay, sure.
One called Super Tintopia and the other Osopolis, and that's it. And never been in the state as a comic book artist. A part of that.
Wow.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay. So yeah, once I saw Gonzalo's portfolio, I was like, this, I think, is the right guy.
I think that was the right idea.
I think so too. And we like you do when you start collaborating with, so we started comparing notes and our inspirations and our saying, hey, what if it was a little bit like this, or what if it was a little bit like that, and we compare. I made a Pinterest page with all the stuff that I could think of, and I probably threw too much at Gonzalo at once, but he was
very helpful. Very helpful. I appreciate that.
Okay. He was very gracious and continues to be very gracious. But he came back with sketches and ideas and has added a whole lot to this. And then we can't forget Arthur, our colorist, who I believe you've worked with before. Is that right?
No, never.
Oh, is that true?
No, never. We have a project with Claudio, but that project is in, as you said, is in the back burner.
Okay.
I don't know for how long.
Okay.
But yeah, it's our first time on a actual book.
Oh, interesting. The way you guys work together, I had no idea.
Wow.
Honestly.
That's so cool. That's so cool to kind of see when you have some creators and you can watch them from the back end of things and see how they create, and it's like almost as if they've known each other for years.
Well,
how amazing is that?
It's kind of playing chess. Maybe you don't know each other, but you know what you want, you know what the other wants, and we fly by ear.
Yeah. And I think Arthur brought a really cool thing. We had looked at some other color schemes and at some other approaches. We didn't want just a regular kind of flat approach. So we looked at what Greg Smallwood's doing on Human Target and what he did on Moon Knight. And we looked at what Darwin Cook did in most of his work. And just, you can see a little bit of it right there. He's doing a lot of angles and kind of almost like mid-century a little bit. And then Arthur is obviously a talented colorist in the first place, but now I think he's adding a little bit different something. Like it makes it a little bit more unique on top of Gonzalo's already great style.
I'm really I'm surprised how he managed to color the noir style. You think noir style black and white or grayscale, but he full colored noir style. I think it's a nice finding from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think it totally fits. It feels really like the noir style still feels it's still here, right? With the curl light. I didn't really think of anything of it. I was just like, this is just awesome. I didn't actually, think of any other kind of, noir style kind of black and white comics out there. And I just completely forgot that there was color here. But yeah, no, it's gorgeous. And so talk to me a little bit about the concept of Bixby Grant here.
Oh, sure.
Give everybody the log line really quick.
Okay.
And then we'll go through this campaign a little bit more, but I want to show people the pages here while we give the log line.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so Bixby Grant, like the pitch is it's Hellboy meets the Shadow with a little dash of Batman the Animated Series, for kind of from a tone standpoint. So it's like it's appropriate for all ages, but I think even casual fans of hardboil, detective and noir and pulp heroes will really dig it. So Bixby Grant was a 1930s policeman who stumbled upon a museum heist and in the process unleashed the curse of the Pharaoh and became a living mummy. So he's been alive for 90 something years. And now he's trapped. He's a 1930s gumshoe stuck in an immortal body. And he's not happy. He's been alive for so long. All his friends and family are gone. He doesn't like what the world has become. His hometown, Harbor City, is overrun and become a haven for the supernatural and a very eclectic set of citizens. So there's demons, and then there's obviously there's mummies, there's werewolves, there's all kinds. There's ghosts and goblins and all kinds of stuff. So he is uniquely suited to deal with all the stuff that goes on in his town. Meanwhile, he wants nothing to do with it. He'd rather just be left alone to kind of stew in his own misery because he's just old and curmudgeon-y.
Let's talk a little bit about his friends here.
Yeah, sure. So this is Doc Stein. So one thing that I didn't put into the paragraphs or the descriptions here is that most of the characters are based on the Universal monsters. So obviously Bix is the mummy. Doc Stein is my Dr. Frankenstein. And then his Frankenstein's monster is Francine, his sister. So Doc Stein is a brilliant scientist who, when he was a kid, also wanted to be a sharpshooter, a gunslinger. And so I had this weird idea a long time ago when I came up with Bixby Grant for a separate comic about a scientist gunslinger, and I kind of just ended up merging the two concepts because I thought it's a cool idea. Like whatever you always love, and this is what makes the Marvel universe so great, all the way back to the 60s, is that someone would just pop in, right? And you're like, wait a minute, who was that? I want to know more about that person. And that's, the kind of thing, like when I grew up reading comics, Spider-Man would go consult with Reed Richards just for a minute, and you may have never heard of the Fantastic Four before. But that's what Doc Stein is. Like, we're going to get more of Doc down the road. But for now, he's just in there just as a little consultant, and we get to meet him, and we get to meet Francine. Francine, his sister, was a world-famous actress and singer, but she had this rare disease that I haven't given a name to yet that made her body dissolve. And before her brother, Doc, could solve her malady, he decided to put her brain into a robot body. It was the only solution he could come up with because, comics.
Yeah, right.
and so now she's a 7-foot-tall robot, and she's not really all that happy about it either. So she's my Frankenstein's monster. Doc is my Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein. If you go down a little bit, I think we've got, this is Muscles. So he's not based on a Universal monster. He is basically, how like the Shadow has a driver, the Spirit has a driver. I wanted somebody, because Bix is a mummy and he can have his limbs ripped off at any point and be chopped up and still be alive. How's he going to get around? Like, let's say he gets shot full of holes, or he gets, his limbs pulled off. He can't drive a car anymore very easily. So Muscles was he's an ex-convict. He was wrongfully accused of a crime that he did not commit. Bix helped him get out of jail, and now to kind of pay off this debt that he feels he owes Bix, he takes care of Bix's car and drives him around. And also, he's a little bit of kind of color and a little bit of comedy relief.
I love that you like thought it out, and you're like, well, he's gonna get his limbs like shot off, and he's gonna need somebody to take care of him and drive him around.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't actually, like, somebody was like, why does he need somebody to drive him around? And I was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And then I came up with a good reason. A good reason, I think.
I love that.
So this is Diego. Diego is a rockabilly vampire. He came here from Mexico when he was younger, and now he's got a kind of a mysterious background. But he really just loves rock and roll, and he takes a million different kind of odd jobs around town to pay the rent. He sleeps on people's couches, well, during the day, and but he's also not like a real bloodsucker. Like, he keeps his kind of, illness, or whatever you want to call it, his bloodlust in check. But he's always wants to help Bix, and Bix wants him nowhere near him. So we're going to see him. The future stories, we'll see more of Diego. He's only in this one in a little bit, again, just to kind of set some more of the world that Bix lives in there in Harbor City. But Diego is going to be a lot of fun. So
cool.
And I love what Gonzalo did with him. Like, we looked at a few different people, and Bruno Mars actually was one of the people that we got for the pompadour. He's got really good hair, but I love him. I think he looks cool.
Yeah, he looks really cool. I feel like in high school, I tried to dress like this at one point.
I could never pull it off, but
right.
But Diego can.
And who's our unnamed werewolf, and why are they unnamed?
So here's our final universal monster, right? Is our werewolf. So I can't tell you his name. His nickname is the Baron, which won't spoil anything.
Okay.
But he obviously he's a biker. He's wearing his vest, and I think we may have even shown, maybe here or somewhere else, there's shots of him on his motorcycle.
Yeah.
And Bix is going to run into him a few times in this story, and we're not sure whose side he's on or what he's up to, but he will be part of all the action for sure.
Awesome. I love it. And what's cool about one of these tiers, you have the availability to be a werewolf in the comic, right?
That's right. That's right.
Pretty cool. So let's talk a little bit about the tiers we have going on here.
Okay. So the first one is for most people who've bought Kickstarter comics before. Usually the bottom, the first tier is the digital only, right? So you can get this as a PDF to download. You can look at it on your iPad or on your computer. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could look at it on your phone, I guess. I don't think this is not formatted. This is not a continuous scroll. It's not like it's not technically an online comic, so I wouldn't recommend that. But we've actually, so far today, I'm surprised. A lot of people bought the digital copy. And it's ideal if you don't, like me, you can see behind me and behind Gonzalo too. We have way too many books already. So if you want to read the comic, don't want to spend more than $10 and don't have room for it, this is the one for you.
Yeah, definitely. And we got an early bird special. When does this early bird end?
Okay, so I'm looking at the clock. You've got another 11 hours on the early bird. So until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, you can get the early bird. Now, the book, normally the 80-page book goes for $30, I think. And then that poster, I think you have to pay another $5 or $10 for. But today, if you buy the book, you get both for $20, which is a really good deal. Now, this poster, I should mention, is about 20 by 30. And it features Raphael Albuquerque's variant cover artwork. He did a really nice piece for us, as you can see. I think we'll look at it in a little more detail in a minute. And it folds up. So it folds down to comic book size, and then it folds out to be about 20 by 30. And it looks really nice.
I love that. I that's one of my favorite things to do. Like, one of my comic shops that I frequent, they always get those free posters from like DC and Marvel and all those places, right? And then they put them up in the shops. But when it comes time to switch them out, well, they kind of just like, give them away for free. It's like, we put them up. So I love going to that bin and like searching through those posters, those fold up posters, and looking for the cool. I'm like, ooh, I got this cover. I need to put this on my wall now. So I love that we have a poster here. And one of the reasons why a couple of my friends are like, ooh, I really want that poster. So that was a really cool idea.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Now we're at the I think this is just the book, right? This is Gonzalo's cover, which we saw a little bit earlier, which I still love. I think it's a really handsome package. Actually, I think in a little bit, if we have time, I'd love to step through. Gonzalo, I have your sketches and I have the original like template that I put together, and we can kind of walk people through that process. And I think that'd be kind of fun if people are into it. So this is an 80-page book. It's got the 72-page main story. Featuring the characters that we just looked at, plus a 7-page backup, which not people wouldn't know. Why would they? That the 7-page backup was actually kind of a test story that we did, Gonzalo and Arthur and I, about a year ago, starting right about now, 2021. Because we had never worked together before, and I wanted to see what it was like and how we were going to gel. Yeah. And of course, Gonzalo crushed it, and we ended up going on. I asked them if they wanted to do a full story, and they both said, miraculously, yes. So here we are today.
That's so cool. That's when the planets align and things of that nature. It's pretty awesome when we can get something amazing like this. We got Jesse Lonergan's cover here.
Yes, indeed. So Jesse, I don't know if folks are familiar with him. He doesn't work for the big two. Most of his work is indie stuff. So he was Eisner nominated for his first book, Hedra. Am I getting that right? I'm probably screwing that up. I apologize, Jesse. But he's also done a great book called Planet Paradise through Image, and he's got a new book coming out. Joey, do you remember what it is? I'm blanking.
Ooh, I don't know.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
That's my fault that I didn't do my homework.
I know. I didn't either. Jesse, I'm so sorry. Put it. I'm gonna promote the heck out of it when it does come out. So
yes,
I promise I'll make it up to you.
If you keep talking, I'll pull it up.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I approached Jesse the springtime of this year because I just love his work, and I think he's got a very unique style, particularly among American comics, right? So I think internationally, his style feels a little bit more European, maybe a little bit more South American, maybe. Gonzalo, you tell me what you think. But his line quality is very different from what we're used to here. Yeah. So I just really wanted to work with him, and that was a cold call. I just emailed him at his website, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to do a variant cover?" He's like, "Yeah, okay." And I mean, I paid him. He just didn't do it for free for nothing. But
that's crazy cool, though.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And that's another one that if we want, he did, pencils, inks, and color on that all himself. And we can take a look at that for a little bit of process behind the scenes action later if you want.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I can't see a name, but yes, he had Hedra.
Oh, Faster. It's called Faster.
Okay, there we go.
Sorry. Whew, just came to me.
Yeah. All right. And then here we go. We have Raphael Albuquerque's cover here.
Yes. So Raphael was a contact that we got through Heather Antos, our editor, who is super connected. I mean, Heather used to work at Marvel. She's used to work at Valiant. She's currently at IDW, and she just has a contact list 2 miles long. Like if you're like, hey, do you need letterers? She's like, yeah. She's like, what?
Which one?
How many do you need? And I said, well, I'd like to get a couple of variant covers too to help broaden the audience a little bit. Mm-hmm. And she said, oh, okay. So we went through a few different people, and depending on whether or not they were availability, a couple people had to pass, and but luckily she's like, oh, what about Raphael? And I was like, yeah, of course. What am I going to say no to Raphael Albuquerque? He won, he won an Eisner. He won an Inkpot. He won a Harvey. He did American Vampire. That's the first thing I remember reading of his. And he's doing Detective right now, I believe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that I was like
Ram V right now, I think, right?
Yeah. I think that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, of course, yeah, let's get Raphael. So here we are.
Yeah, very cool. I thought this was a really ambitious campaign I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I'll help you.
And you mentioned the noir kind of color, like he took that to heart. And I think that he's got a nice, there's really only 3 colors in there.
Oh yeah.
There's
in his cover. Yeah.
Yeah, there's black, white, and then that various shades of that turquoise. And it really reads as being super noir.
Yeah, and you and I were talking earlier, and we were like, it's very reminiscent to the like the old Question covers.
Yeah, that's
And-
right.
and,
That's right. So it does feel a little bit like some of the Dennis Cowan, which
Yep.
stuff from, I think it was the 90s. I can't remember if it
Yeah.
was late 80s, early 90s. Then he came back and did some stuff later too. Bill Sienkiewicz did the inks on some of them.
Yes, they're on the recent ones. I have some right back here.
Yeah.
Actually.
So
Yeah,
it does have that. It has
and
that vibe for sure.
And they did it in this really cool prestige format, right? And
Yeah.
this book is going to be in that same format, is it not?
It is. That's right. It's going to be square bound, what they used to call prestige format. Because I could have gone either way, but I just thought it'd be nice to not have staples, and it feels a little more premium,
Yeah.
And plus, we're going to have the metal covers too, which I think would look a lot better with the square bound than it would with staples.
Yeah, I think that would be really, really, really cool. And we have some really cool other tiers here. You guys can add on all kinds of other stuff here. We got you got it adds the poster here, and then you got the third one there, and then each time we go up, you got something really cool. Tell us a little bit about this this sketch here.
Okay, sure. So you can see a little bit the eyes peeking out in the background there, because you used part of what this sketch became as that backdrop. So like I said, I am technically a trained illustrator. And if I take my time, I can do something that's halfway decent. I'm not nearly as polished or as quick as Gonzalo, because we'll get into that, but he's fast. So this piece will be an actual ink. It won't be a print. It won't be a copy. It'll be an actually inked piece by me, about comic book size, black and white piece, headshot of Bix. So I'm looking forward to doing that, because I don't get the chance to draw as much as I'd like.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
very cool. And that's practice.
Exactly.
And just like anything else, you get to pair each book with this tier here.
Yep.
It's kind of how we talked about it a little bit, to show each book, each pairing as so it was very linear and very, very easy to follow. Along with that, you got these really, really ambitious prints. Talk to us a little bit about these pinups.
Absolutely. So these are some contemporaries of Gonzalo, in that I believe they're all in South America. And is that accurate, Gonzalo? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So so we're gonna have prints of the 3 variant covers, and then Geraldo Borges. Is it Borges or Borges?
It's Borges.
Okay.
Because he's Brazilian, so in Portuguese is Borges.
Got it.
We call him Geraldo Borges, but he's called Geraldo Borges.
Okay. All right. Very good. I'm very careful, because I know the Portuguese in Brazil and Spanish.
Don't worry. We are.
I don't want to be offensive. But
we'll never take that offense.
Okay. Oh, there's Geraldo.
There he is.
Right now. Very good. So, anyways, he was very, very nice of him, and Nelson Daniel and Moises Hidalgo. Geraldo took some time out of his Nightwing schedule to do a really awesome pinup of Bixby on top of his old, I think it's a Hudson. It's a really old car, like a 50s, 40s era car, shooting the heck out of some zombies. Nelson Daniel, for those of you who don't know him, he's done a lot of work for IDW. He's done G.I. Joe, Ninja Turtles, a whole bunch of other stuff. He's fantastic. He's also done some work for Marvel as well. And so he did another piece with zombies, but you can see there Bix is jumping out of a window about maybe, I don't know, 20 stories up. So I'm curious to see what would happen after that.
Yeah, he's just gonna unravel as he goes down.
He could, maybe he can make a parachute out of his coat or something. And then Moises did a really great one, which I think it's a Wendigo that Bix is fighting in that one.
Oh, that's so cool.
I think. I mean, he's got the antlers and the skull. It
feels like it. Yeah.
And he just did a really nice job. Each one I love because I didn't show the artists what everyone else was doing, and they both came back with their own, complementary but different take. First of all, obviously in their own style, but also from a palette standpoint. So I think it turned out, they all turned out really well, and I can't wait to get these prints up hopefully in my wall over here. You guys won't be able to see it, but I'm super excited. Those were actually the first pieces of art that I started to get back once we had done the short story that Gonzalo worked on. So this is when it started to feel like a real project. Like, hey, we're actually gonna, we're collaborating with multiple people, getting the whole project off the ground, and it's pretty exciting.
That's very cool. And then with this tier, you get to add some really cool buttons.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll get the character buttons. I love putting buttons. I'm not wearing it now, but on my jean jacket, putting little rock and roll buttons and comics and stuff on there, or put it on your strap for your bag, or you could even, my kids like to put them on their tack boards in their room, just kind of have them. But I'm excited to have buttons.
We started. It's the holiday season, so what we started in our home for a tradition was taking my kids to the comic shop and having them pick out little buttons, like dollar buttons from the shop, and they get to put those buttons on their stockings for Christmas. So
that's cool.
Yeah, very cool. And it's really fun because they get to have an excuse to go to the comic shop every year. So
yeah, you really don't need an excuse.
I know. Yeah. It's more of Dad's excuse to take my kids to the shop.
Fair.
For me, it's an excuse for me to spend money at the shop. And just like anything else, we give you guys the option to add the same exact tier with the pairing of your choice of the covers. Very cool. One really cool thing of this next tier here, it's all the same thing, and then you just add something here. We got some really cool metal covers here.
Yeah.
This was really cool. I think we were talking about this, and we were talking about metal covers that a couple other campaigns that I know that did this, and you were like, I think it would be really cool to do some metal covers. And I don't know if it was you or I talking, who was talking each other into getting the metal covers in this campaign, but I'm super glad you did, because this is going to be freaking cool.
I'm really looking forward to this. It was me that was skeptical. It was you were like, dude, you got to do metal covers. I was like, I don't know. And then you showed me what they look like. And I was like, Gonzalo, I don't know if you can see, but in the moon there, like you can see the kind of texture in the aluminum. I think it's going to take the colors in this and the black and the silvers, and it's going to look really, really sweet.
Yeah.
So I'm actually looking forward. And you know what? Today, quite a few people bought the metal covers. So I can't wait to get mine too.
Yeah, very cool. And just like anything else, you can pair it with A, B, and C.
That's right.
So very cool. And they look so cool. Like this one. Yeah. And obviously these are just mock-ups, so the books will not look exactly like this. I guarantee you they're gonna look so much better. I've seen some medals, and I saw a buddy, he sent me a video, and it almost looked like the glass, like it was like shiny and almost like the screen of my iPad. And I was like, dude, is that glass or is that metal? So it was wild. It was wild. I've yet to have a metal cover. I have some metal prints of some printer plates of some comic books and stuff, but yeah, this, I've seen these the medals that we get for we're going to be getting from this place, and they look gorgeous. I'm just going to say that.
Awesome.
I'm jealous. I'm so jealous. You got some retailer packs for the retailers out there, right?
Of course. We don't want to forget the retailers. I know that the landscape, particularly in America, has changed for distribution a lot in the last 2 years since the pandemic. Diamond's not the only game in town anymore. And I know that some retailers are really on it for Kickstarters. So we wanted to make sure that we were accommodating for that. So we've got a 1 in 5 variant here. So for this pack, you get 2 Gonzalo covers, 2 Jesse Lonergan covers, and 1 Raphael cover. So, and then of course you also get the PDF too, so you can read it yourself and sell the other ones.
Pretty cool. And then we have the Supreme Fan package here. You get all 3.
Yep.
All 3 covers. And then
if you can't decide which cover you want, there you go.
And then that's a pretty great deal too.
It is.
$80. For $80, I was looking through this. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot.
I mean, you get everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Well, not everything. Everything up to that point.
Fair enough.
So, and then $85, you guys get to add here. Here was a really cool one here, because we were like, we got to switch some of these things out here a little bit. And we were thinking, what can we do? And we came up with this really cool idea of Bixby's case files. Like it's why weren't we already playing to this trope already? Right. Yeah. Enough. So we had to. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some really cool original case files, and I think you have a really cool idea for that, don't you?
Yeah, we're gonna make it kind of like, you remember the old GI Joes, the labels on the back would have the little, like, it looked like a file folder. So yes. I was thinking, we'll use some of Gonzalo's beautiful art and kind of lay out what the backstory is in a much smaller kind of way here, and you can give some more backstory on some of the other things that are going on in the story that you don't get in the 72 pager. So it's going to be like little tidbits that you would only get in having it. It's like back matter in a comic, essentially.
Yeah.
But it's going to be on a really nice print, and it's going to look gorgeous, and you're going to want to maybe even frame it. Who knows?
Yeah, that I thought that was such a cool idea when we were talking about that. I was like, dude, that's amazing. I'm so excited for that one. And then here's the other retailer tier here.
Yep. So this one is basically twice. This is a 10-pack, right? So it's got 4 Gonzalo covers, 4 Jesse covers, and 2 Raphael covers, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And then you could be a character in the comic.
Yes. So Gonzalo knows about this already, because he's had to draw these pages and knowing that he's going to have to put people in them. So we actually already, believe it or not, have 3 people that signed up for this today. Wow. and 3 people for the next one, which I'm not going to ruin just yet. Cool. And so there's a scene where you can actually, and you'll get a line essentially when Bixby Grant is interviewing people in the story. You'll get to say something to Bix. So we'll have you send in a photo, and then Gonzalo will draw you into the story, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's so fun. I always love when Kickstarters do this with the whole drawing in the comic book. It's such a cool thing to do, and the people who get that tier, they're like, it's so good. You flip through it and get to show everybody, hey, that's me.
Exactly.
Very cool. Okay, and then here we go. You get to be a werewolf in the comic too in this one.
Exactly. So there's a lot of werewolves in this book. That's not too much of a spoiler, but if you sign up for this tier, you get to be one of those werewolves. So, and again, Gonzalo knows what we're doing. He's already drawn that scene too. So we're going to have to work these folks into it. I know 3 people bought this tier already, and I think there's 3 more for this.
I don't remember. I don't recall.
Yeah, it's a limited amount. So if you want to get in on that, I would probably do that one pretty soon.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. And it comes with everything there.
Everything else.
Everything in the whole campaign there you guys get.
It does.
And then here we did something really cool. You guys get to do some add-ons. It's basically an itemized list of everything that is offered in the campaign. You guys are able to, make a pairing of your own if you want. It's kind of like an a la carte system.
That's right.
So we didn't want to leave anybody out, because I know there's people who are like, ooh, I really wish I had this tier, but I want a couple other of, who knows what, cover 8,
Right.
So, it's Christmas is around the corner. Or somebody's birthday is next year. You might want to, hand this out too.
Start your shopping now.
Yep, start your shopping now. So we wanted to make sure that everybody was here. And then there's some really cool some creator bios here.
Yeah, actually, this photo I took as a reference picture.
love
Gonzalo,
this.
I think Gonzalo's seen this picture before.
Yeah.
So we were sharing reference. I believe Gonzalo had his son
Yeah.
take pictures for him. But it's
So cool.
drawing a fedora is not easy. So I bought a really cheap costume fedora, and then I put on a suit. And I rolled paper. I don't smoke, so I rolled a little piece of paper to look like a cigarette, just for the. And then I had my daughter take pictures of me.
That's cool.
And that was like she took that one just because she was being goofy, and I really liked it. So it kind of feels like I'm a singer in the 50s, like Frank Sinatra or something.
How old is your daughter?
She is 13. I have another daughter who's 11, but my 13-year-old took that.
And she took and they took this pic. That's a fantastic picture.
Yeah,
wow.
It came out really well.
That's very awesome. I look that should be. I think what we should do on the next one is have everybody dress up like this, and this is going to be their pictures for their. Everybody dressed up in noir.
Here's my hat right here, but it's on.
There you go.
I can't wear my headphones with that though. So.
Here we go. He says Gonzalo is the master of hats. He has the huge collection. Oh, you have a huge collection of hats, huh?
Indeed.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And here's the master himself here. And then we got everybody else, all the really cool stuff here for everybody at the bottom here. Awesome. But I'm gonna allow you to share your screen so you can give us some backstage stuff.
Okay.
Because I know you got some really cool stuff that you wanted to share with everybody.
Absolutely. One thing I want to know, if Geralda is watching, are you at the drawing board right now? Are you listening to us while you're drawing?
Possibly. I hope so.
Probably, right?
Okay. Is it allowing you to share?
It is.
Okay.
Let's see. It's easiest. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Once it goes, so awesome. So while he's getting that set up, Gonzalo, I want to talk to you a little bit about this book here. I know you've done some amazing things here and your background stuff, but what drew you to this? I know you talked a little bit about it, but what drew you to want to actually do this because he talked about that test page, those test pages. What drew you to want to go further and actually go into this actual graphic novel with Patrick?
Yeah. I wanted to do this because several reasons. One is the story is very cool. Yeah, and I'm not trying to look nice, but it's really a cool story. I'm a huge fan of noir stories. I'm a huge fan of Raymond Chandler and Dashiell Hammett, and I love all those noir movies from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And it's very easy to be to mocking something, you know. In the script, there's action, there's even humor, but it's not like mocking or trying to look like a noir stories. I really love the script. One thing is the story. The story can be good, but so many times the scripts are not that good, where I have to unroll the script and roll it again.
Yeah.
Love the script, and I love the team. You know, so professional, so professional in each of its knowing, you know, knowledge. The fact that Patrick hired an actual editor, to oversee the whole operation, I think that's very professional from his part, you know. So I really enjoyed working here. I'm a professional comic book artist since 20 years ago. So when I'm hired, I do my best, with all my heart. But in this case, I kind of fell in love.
That's awesome.
Sorry.
I love that. That's fantastic. Were you able to get your your computer set up over there?
Yeah, sorry, I had to jump out for a second
It's all good.
in order to give permissions, but don't make fun of my desktop. It's a mess.
It's all good.
I'm gonna minimize this. Okay, so you guys can see my stuff.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is actually we saw a little bit of this in the on the actual Kickstarter page. These are character designs that I had Gonzalo do about a year ago, actually, after we did the that short story, and he just did such an awesome job. I think it was worth bringing up and looking at it a little closer, so you can see, you know, he does a basic turnaround, right? So main shot, 3/4, dead on, side and back, and the 3/4 shot has more shading and like a fuller palette to it, so to give it some more dimension. And when he did this, I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely the artist I want on this project. You know, he just talked about how he, you know, felt like this was a project that he could really sink his teeth into, and it showed as soon as he started working on it. So here's Diego again, who's one of my favorites. And then this is a character actually that didn't make it into this book. This is Gladys. She was supposed to be Bix's kind of Gal Friday, if you know what that term means. And she will definitely be in future ones, but she didn't have a place in the story. So unfortunately, I had to leave her out. I really wanted to get her in there, and Heather kept saying, "Why is Gladys in this story?" And I was like, "She didn't have a reason other than I wanted her there." So she'll be along in future ones, but I just wanted to show a couple more things here up close.
Very cool.
And then also, this was the layouts that Gonzalo originally did for the 7-page short.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, let me show it up close actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna single that out for you.
Thanks. Here we go. So I gave him a script, obviously, and some of you already know how comics work, so I won't get into too much. But he came back with, you know, the basic layouts based on what I had, and you could see. Gonzalo, please feel free to correct me if I get anything wrong here, but you work digitally, and I believe this was done digitally, and so you were able to kind of put these together. They're obviously rough, but give me an idea of the basic layout and what's going to go on in the page, and whether or not it's going to work for the story. So as soon as I saw this, like, I know it's a cliche, but as soon as you start seeing the art come to life, even a little bit, even as roughs, it really gets you excited, and I feel like a little kid again. You know,
that's so cool.
I don't know about you, Gonzalo, but I started making comics when I was like 10, and it gives me that feel again, right? So these were all really, really fantastic stuff, and I could tell just by the look and feel, like Arthur hadn't even entered into the conversation yet, right? So we knew we were gonna be able to add a whole other dimension with
that panel color alone right there with Bixby.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's really great.
Look, that is seriously like a question pose right there, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh man.
Yeah, definitely. And I do have to give credit. Like when I originally created Bixby Grant, he didn't have eyes and he didn't have eyeballs. And then Shannon, my old publishing partner, who's worked in character animation for a long time, is like, you really need to give him some eyes to express it. He's like, you could have it be a shadow from his hat that gives him kind of like a domino mask, almost like the shadow. And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah. So then I did that, and for years the design was just that. And then at some point I was like, you know what? It'd be kind of cool. You know how every once in a while an artist will add in an eyeball to Batman? Like just like Jim Pharaoh used to do it in the 80s. Some artists do it here and there. But having that as an expressive bit and be able to, because he doesn't have a mouth. You can't see his nose. You can't even see any eyebrows. So you have to give him something. So the eyeballs kind of work their way in there. And I think Gonzalo put it all together and really brought it to life. You can look how expressive it is here when he's like, you know,
that's so cool.
Really upset. Yeah. So yeah, this story is kind of a Rashomon, in that 3 different people are telling their recollection of what Bixby Grant did. So this person's telling the story about how he fought a bunch of aliens and street pirates and zombies, and this person's telling the story about how he fought ninjas or ninja vampires, and this one he fought a robot Hitler. So I think this one's going to be fun when you see it. I think it came together really nicely.
Very cool. Very cool.
Let's see. What should we look at? We've only got.
We got about 10 minutes before we want to head out. Oh, and looks like we got Arthur popping in here for a second with us.
Oh, sweet.
Let's see if we can get him in here. Arthur, how's it going?
Uh-oh. Where's Arthur? Did we lose him?
Oh, yeah, we lost him.
I think he might be out and about. Like, I think he was going to step out and try to call in. So we might.
Yeah, he might be trying to pop in here a second, but we'll pull him in if we can.
Okay.
I'll still allow you to have rights over there if you want to pull up the campaign and play the trailer. I think that would be awesome because I think when I first saw the trailer, I said this is freaking fantastic.
Where did it go? Here it is.
So here we go, and I'm gonna single this out so everybody can see it.
Okay, I'll go full screen. Oh, look at that. That's fun. I just saw the total go all the way.
Yeah, we're going getting close to $5,000 here, and then at 5,500 we're gonna unlock the first unlock is gonna be a set of stickers.
It's exciting.
So very cool of the Bixby cast.
All right, here's the video.
You'll never take me alive. Oh, hi. Do you love monsters, hope heroes, detective stories, double-fisted hoo-ha action? Are you bad with money and willing to buy just about anything? If the answer to any of those questions is yes, come to the right place. I'm Patrick Coyle, creator and writer of Bixby Grant Private Eye, my first full-length, self-published, creator-owned comic. It's a product that I've wanted to make for 30 years. I got the idea for Bixby Grant when I was in college. I thought it would be fun to have a character that can't die, someone who can walk into any kind of dangerous situation. And I figured, if there's any logical thing that would, that a reanimated mummy makes for the perfect immortal hero. Right? At the time, I was watching a lot of noir detective movies, so I put the two together, and voila! Bixby Grant Private Eye was born. But over the years, life got in me, and the idea got put on the back burner. But I decided recently that I needed to get this idea out in the world, and now. I even sold part of my comic book collection to make it happen. I'm super excited that it's finally coming to life. Here's the pitch. Bixby Grant is Hellboy meets The Shadow with a sprinkle of Batman the Animated Series. Bixby Grant is a hard-drinking, chain-smoking, gun-toting, mummy detective who'd rather just be left alone to do his own business. He's friends with a gunslinger scientist, a 7-foot robot, a rockabilly vampire, and in this comic, his investigation pits him against a pack of werewolves. What's in it for you? First, we've got the 80-page comic with a 72-page main story and a 7-page backup story, featuring the amazing work of Chilean artist Gonzalo Martinez and color by Arthur Hesley. Seriously, how gorgeous this one is. The book is lettered by DC image hero Steve Wands and former Star Wars Deadpool Heather Andrews. It's got guiding the story with me, everything runs on time. Check out these sweet variant covers with Eisner Award-nominated artist Jesse Bonner and Eisner, Harvey, Inkpot Award winner Raphael Alvarez. You can also get Raphael's cover as a fold-out 20 by 30-inch poster. Plus, we have a set of 6 comic book art-sized prints of all 3 covers, plus pinouts by Nightwing artist Ronaldo Borges, Ninja Turtles artist Nelson Gordon, and Power Rangers artist Moises Hidalgo. Don't these look awesome? Other rewards include a Bixby Grant sketch by me, a Zoom call to chat with me about comics or, whatever. The chance to be a character if you want. Check this out. The chance to be a werewolf in the comic. Please consider backing this project. I think you'll really dig it, and will help make a lifelong dream of mine become a reality. Thanks. We can turn off the beginning phone, right? Okay?
That was fantastic. I love that. Every time I watch that, it's like perfect.
Thanks. Well, I got to give a big shout out to my brother. So my brother is a filmmaker and works as a TV producer in Los Angeles, and so he helped me put that together. I filmed it. I live in Massachusetts. He lives in Los Angeles. I filmed it here. I gave him the assets, you know, all of Gonzalo's wonderful art, and he put that together for me, and it came out fantastic.
Wow, that's so cool. That's very, very, very cool. Looks like we have Arthur popping in here. Let's see if we can bring him in.
Hello, guys. How are you doing?
How's it going?
Arthur!
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm okay, man. I just arrived home earlier before when I came and the screen was all black. I was in the Uber and I was just checking if you guys are still on the streaming. And I just popped in. It was crazy, but now I'm home. Sorry, my bad English.
No, thank
you. We're too. Don't worry.
You sound great, Arthur. We're glad you could join us.
Thank you.
We appreciate you for hanging out with us, and we were just talking a little bit about how amazing this work was, and especially the coloring on this one as well. So, and we're just about a handful of dollars away from being unlocking this one. We're about to hit $5,000. If we can get 5,500, we unlock the Bixby cast stickers here. Very cool. So, Arthur, can you talk to us a little bit about your work on this book with this project with these guys here?
I'll try to speak very slow, but it was an amazing project, and the colors when Patrick sent me the reference was a little bit challenging because the way the colors the first colors did is something about a lot of contrast and a lot of, the render was super simple, but I think oh my god, I'm a little bit nervous. Sorry.
You're doing great.
You're doing great. You're doing amazing.
Yeah. Let me. How can I tell this? It's was a little bit difficult to me because I was learning to render in another style that I was not used to.
Yeah.
But the story is great. The character is great. So it gives me a little boost to do my best work. And the way that Patrick and Heather and Gonzalo directed me on the art made a lot easier. So I really thank you guys for all the support, all the patience with me while I was learning to make this new style I was working on. The whole process was great. It's been really great. We continue to oh my god, we continue to do the project now. Yes, so I think the whole project is going well, and congratulations all the team for we get the how can I say all the budgets in so few hours. Is amazing. We can see this project explodes in the internet.
Yeah, you guys have done an amazing job. The colors is one of the things that really drew me to this project. You did an excellent job, and yes, you guys did amazing. You guys funded in just about 12 hours. Right now, as we speak, it is about $4,997 of a 4,600 I can't speak either goal, 4,600 goal, and then we're gonna be unlocking at 5,500 these amazing stickers here. Patrick, please before we head out, can you give everybody let everybody know where they can find you and where they can find this Kickstarter and all kinds of really cool stuff that we're gonna be talking. We're not gonna we're gonna come back at you guys before this the Kickstarter ends. So don't go away. Stay tuned.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me. I'm on Instagram. I'm Patrick Coyle 71. You can find me on Facebook. I think I'm Patrick Makes Comics. And where else am I? I'm on LinkedIn. If you want to get hook up with me on LinkedIn, that doesn't quite seem right. You can also go. I also have a YouTube channel. Actually, we were just talking about this, Gonzalo. It was I have a YouTube channel called Patrick Sucks at Drawing, which is why I hired these guys to do the beautiful art that you see. On there, I just talk about comics and making comics and the struggle with the creative process. So you might dig that too. But if you go to Kickstarter.com, you don't have to have a direct link. There's a search box up in the upper right-hand corner. If you just type in Bixby Grant, you'll find us. We're the only Bixby Grant on Kickstarter. So you can find us that way. We've got 29 more days. So hopefully we're going to be opening up, unlocking those other stretch goals. If people really dig this project and keep supporting it, I hope Gonzalo and I and Arthur will get to do a whole bunch more.
Yeah. I gotta show you guys here. I'm sorry for the fast scrolling here. This right here is my favorite unlock right here. I think that we were talking about, okay, we're like, what are we going to do for some stretch goals? And I said, what would be really cool is if you made those pinups into 3 new covers and make them virgin covers. And you said, yes, please. So this is my favorite unlock here.
Can you guys remind me who is the artist of the first cover? The blue one.
Here?
That one is Nelson Daniel. Yes.
Yeah, he's amazing, man.
Yeah,
I love this cover.
Yes, all of these covers are gorgeous here. Very, very cool. You were saying something, Patrick.
Was I?
About these covers, how gorgeous these were.
I'm super excited to have those as virgin covers. I mean, they're art pieces of art on their own, right? But they're going to be the cover to the book, and so you can have them as part of your collection, and it'd be really cool. I love virgin covers because it's great to get signatures with. So if you see these artists at a show, you can get a really cool signature on a cover too.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool.
Você faz once, okay.
Mas é o que corrigiu. Let us know where we can find you.
Aqui não fecha. Não, tá aqui.
Gonzalo, can you let everybody know where they can find you on social media?
I'm in Instagram, Gonzalo Martinez with an X, not a Z, because Gonzalo Martinez with a Z was taken. So Gonzalo Martinez. I'm in Facebook and Twitter, not in LinkedIn. Sorry. And I have a kind of neglected website called gonzalomartinez.net, where I gather all my published books.
Awesome.
Hey man, your English is great. What are you talking about? yeah.
And Arthur, can you let us know where they can find you on social media?
I have portfolios on ArtStation and Instagram. Let me get it. The right link,
please. And while he's grabbing that for you guys, you can find me at Joey Galvez 1984 on social media, and anywhere you guys can find us. Just type in Geek Collective, you will find us there. We do public relations for comic book creators. We also are a podcast network. So if you guys are a podcaster, please, ask us about our hosting. If you guys are also comic book creators and you want us to do this kind of stuff, hit us up. If just head on over to geekcollective.net. Arthur, do you have that social media?
Sorry, can you repeat it?
Do you have your social media?
What's your Instagram?
Yeah,
Instagram.
my Instagram is Arthur Esley Colors.
Arthur Hesley Colors. Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Colors.
Yep.
On Instagram.
Fantastic.
And the Art Station.
Awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and talking about Bixby, Grant. I'm telling you, this is such a gorgeous campaign here. I was very excited to hang out and talk to you guys about this and be a part of the team and see this stuff on the back end, man. It's so fun. This is a really ambitious campaign. I really hope that you guys are backing this, and I'm glad that you guys hung out with us and took the time to do this. Thank you guys. Patrick, do you have anything to say before we go?
I just want to thank Gonzalo and Arthur for being here. Joey, for you for hosting this. I know that it's not always the easiest thing to wrangle everybody from talking over each other. So, and thank you for everyone who showed up tonight. This has been really great, and I'm super excited with the way things are going for Bixby Grant so far. And I would say Excelsior, but that's been taken.
Definitely. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.